West Bengal elections are just round the corner, about maximum of 4 to 6 months away. Things are all hotting up in Bengal, and we have with us the governor of West Bengal, Jagdeep Dhankar, and we'll go straight to him because a lot of things are happening here in West Bengal at the moment. My first and direct question to you, sir. Do you think law and order situation in West Bengal has broken down?
Well, democratic fabric here is being stressed. Law and order situation has been nosediving for last several months. There are areas where we have lawlessness, a state of anarchy. What happened on 10th December, and that was a Human Rights Day. Human rights were in flames. If political activity can take place only with the sanction of the ruling party, then that is the end of democracy. The essence of democracy and rule of law and constitutional working is that one must have full freedom. But in the state of West Bengal, no space to opposition. Opposition parties are being made to bleed at every occasion. If the president of a ruling political party in the country could be so treated with respect to a predetermined program, that's a very serious comment on governance here.
Do you think that complete breakdown of the law and order situation at the moment in the state?
I had written to the Chief Minister on 18th October that steps must be taken to improve law and order, and I had indicated we are at a penultimate stage.
Which means that you are recommending a
Those are the issues which can't be subject matter of either media discussion or public domain. They are issues between me and the central government. But as constitutional head, I am worried. I am deeply concerned. If the public servant acts politically, acts like a political worker, as a front foot political worker, then threat to democracy is obvious. That is something which is happening here. I have been cautioning and warning public servants, don't play with fire. Even the Honorable Chief Minister, the transgressions of constitutional provisions are unacceptable. On what authority she calls a citizen of this country as outsider in the state of West Bengal? I would pose a question to myself. It is foolhardy, audacious approach by a person holding constitutional position to call superior constitutional functionaries as outsider in the state. This is an outrage of constitutional sense. I have called upon her to read preamble of the Constitution. We say, we the people of India, we are Bharat, the largest democracy on earth. We cannot act in this manner. And what is happening is non-responsive approach. I need to know what are the obligations of Mr. Purkashta, former DGP. He is functioning since mid-2018. Designation is a big one, State Security Advisor. I am told his office is fully politicized, effectively planning for the next election, positioning people so that the same thing could be done. Now, how can we have a repeat of what happened earlier? Violence during elections, rigging of elections, police and administration acting politically. That will spell alarming scenario for democracy. That is what is happening. So I want to discount these reports that he is acting politically. No information is given to me. I am left with no option. I got inputs of fact content. The government doesn't respond. What do I do? But why don't they respond to the governor? Why don't they tell me what happened for the pandemic purchase 2,000 crore scam? It was ordered by the Chief Minister. She was impressed by the irregularities, serious irregularities. Many were pointed to me also. But those who were required to be investigated became investigators. You are putting that report under the carpet. How can you do it? Was it a cover-up exercise? That can't be allowed.
Correct. But in this way, you mentioned that there are bureaucrats who are involved, who have turned into party workers. You mentioned a certain figure, IAS and IPS officers who are working at the behest of the Trinamool Congress party. So you have identified those bureaucrats that you want.
I have.
So what is the next step?
I have identified them, and they know that I have identified them. They are acting not as political workers, but as frontline political workers.
IAS and IPS officers.
They have become stakeholders in the ruling party coming back to power. It is not my job to play politics. Political parties can go the way they wish to. But if administrative apparatus is misused, if public servants act as political workers, I step in. My only word of caution to them is, they are playing with fire. There will be serious consequences. Their act is culpable. It constitutes crime in law.
You mean to say this IPS and IAS officers are constituting a crime in law?
No. If a public servant engages in political activity, that is misconduct in service. But if you become stakeholders, it is crime. And I have reports of both these scenarios. I only hope they will get wiser before it is too late. We cannot allow public servants to destroy our democracy by acting for political purposes. It is written in their conduct, be politically neutral. Let me tell you, the problem is so serious. I wrote to Chief Secretary and DGP, send a message to your people, they have to be politically neutral. They have not been able to send this message. It's part of the rule, which means even Chief Secretary and DGP are liable for their acts of omission and commission. Their failure to so act means they are promoting this kind of a culture where public servants can act politically. And this is something which law does not allow, Constitution does not allow. And this cannot be allowed to happen.
So in such a scenario, there's a breakdown of the law and order situation. First you mentioned, then there is also a breakdown of the administrative machinery to a large extent that you also mentioning. So does not it set stage for a president's rule in near future?
That is something which can't be discussed either on public platform or media. That's a matter between the governor and the concerned people.
So stage has not come to that as well?
I wouldn't say anything on that at the moment, but there is no doubt about it that democratic fabric is being ravaged, constitutional parameters are being ignored, governance in the state is much away from rule of law. I get reports of rampant corruption, nepotism, favoritism, even with respect to organizing of Bengal Global Business Summit. No response is coming from the government. When they don't reply to me, then the inputs I get, I am forced to look at them for a second time with belief. And the kind of fiscal management present government is doing, I hope they get wiser before it is too late. They are engaged in an act as if the state exchequer is their private coffer. State exchequer is not their private coffer. Everything in state exchequer has to be accountable. And look at their attitude. The governor of the state got reports from 5 divisional commissioners about rape and kidnappings. They are senior people. They signed the report. And before they signed the report, each divisional commissioner got reports from district magistrates in writing. I put it on Twitter to sensitize the people that we must not be in a mode to ignore crime against women. We must be oversensitized. We must curtail it, combat it, contain it. And the Home Department, we have an illustrious ACS, Mr. Dwivedi. He was in finance earlier. In finance also he gave no response to me. As ACS Home, he has done wonders. His Twitter handle says, my dissemination is wrong, ill-motivated, allegations, and everything which is defamatory. How can information given by the governor based on divisional commissioners and district magistrates be so commented? And still he thinks he can walk away with it. It is defamatory. It is crime. A notice has been issued to him.
You should have noticed too.
Yes, I have sought his response. If it is not found satisfactory, law will take its own course. We cannot allow bureaucrats to run amok like this. We cannot allow them to throw decorum, discipline, and commitment to their conduct rules to winds. Prima facie, I find he has committed a major misdemeanor. Major misdemeanor. He has already failed once to respond. I hope he gets wiser for a second time and makes a response. And no one can digest it. Number of people have written to me. If we don't crack the mess now, we will be ending rule of law. And this will happen.
In such a scenario, now the party has also gone on an offensive against you, stating that the ruling party, Trinamool Congress, stating that you are behaving like an opposition leader as a BJP leader.
Ignore it, you see. Unless you find substance in that, ask a question. The governor commits himself in writing. The governor has been writing to the chief minister. That is in black and white. Let her respond. She did respond once, running into several pages. And you know how it ended. I confine only to Constitution, script of Constitution, and take command only from Constitution. But I cannot appear to be weak or spineless. I'll be cautious, careful, full of optimism, ever in the hope things can look up. But if my patience, perseverance will be misunderstood as weakness, they are mistaken. As regards what they are doing is a serial, they do it every day. It has no impact on me. They have a locust team also on Twitter. I would lend my ears seriously, not only to political party, to anyone who will point out to me, Governor, this is the step you have taken. According to us, this is beyond your power. I am open to correction. No such input has come to me. If you get any such input, you can see my communications and my tweets. I'll be happy to react to it.
Thank you very much, Governor Sahab. And that was Governor Jagdeep Dhankar mincing no words in saying that he means business within the purview of the Constitution. And he is not going to take things lying down. Abhijit Nandi Majumdar for ANM News from Raj Bhavan, Kolkata.
और खबरों के लिए सब्सक्राइब कीजिए ANM न्यूज़, बेल आइकन दबाकर रहिए सबसे आगे।